You've probably used a magnet to see if coins were magnetic. You probably just stuck it up against them and they didn't slide towards it, and you just automatically assumed that they weren't magnetic. Well, what if I told you that we could change that? There is a way to take a magnet and make a coin briefly magnetic. The trick is you can't just put the magnet up to it. It's what you do with it. Let's take a look. To demonstrate this, I have 4 coins. A penny, a nickel, a dime, and a quarter. Now let's see what happens when I put the neodymium magnet near each of the coins. As you can see, none of the 4 coins is magnetic. But now let's try something else. Instead of just placing the magnet near the coins, I'm going to place the magnet on top of the coins and pull it up really fast. Let's start with the penny. You see that? When I pull the magnet off the penny really fast, it briefly lifts the penny up into the air. So right here, I've written down what each of the coins is made out of. As you can see, the penny is the only coin that does not have nickel in it. Instead, it's made up mostly of zinc, with a copper plating. Each of the 3 other coins, the nickel, the dime, and the quarter, are made up mostly of copper with a nickel coating. But as you can see, the nickel itself has the most amount of nickel coating and the least amount of copper out of all 4 of these coins. So knowing this information, let's talk about conductive metals. Of these 3 metals, copper is the most conductive, zinc is the second most conductive, and nickel is the third most conductive. But even though all 3 of these metals are conductive metals, there's a very big difference between their efficiency and how well they actually conduct electricity. You might be able to say that weight was a factor in there, but the quarter weighs just about the same as the nickel and it was still able to be lifted up. Whereas the dime gets lifted the highest because it's the lightest of all the coins. So now that we know how to make the coins magnetic, let's try something you might not expect. Let's take these 3 American bills. The $1, the $20, and the $100. All of these bills have a spot on them where they are magnetic. So let's take a magnet and figure out where those are. Starting with the $1 bill, you can run the magnet along it, and we find that it's actually right there at the corner. And on the other side too. Now let's try the $20 bill. You can see it's not magnetic on the edge right there. But when you get to the middle, it starts pulling up. You can actually move the $20 bill by touching it. It's a little bit up there at the head too. You can see that most of it's down there at the base of Andrew Jackson. And then it goes away when you cross the other side. Now let's try the $100 bill. You can see it's magnetic right there on the edge. And all around this border until you get to this side. Go ahead and test the $5 and $10 bills for yourself to see where their magnetic strips are. I think it's kind of funny that the paper money is magnetic, whereas the coins mostly aren't unless you move a magnet over them. The nickel is a little bit magnetic because it has 25% nickel inside of it, but there isn't enough nickel to actually lift it up by itself. You have to induce the current, and even then it's not strong enough. Now, before this video ends, I want to show you something that's going to flip the entire video on its head. We saw how lifting the magnet off the coins basically attracts it upwards. but what happens when we swipe the magnet sideways across them? Let's take a look and see. For the same 3 coins, the penny, the nickel, and the quarter, they all get repelled away from the magnet when it swipes over top. The nickel, once again, remains completely still. So there's no change there. But what's happening with the other 3? How come when you lift the magnet off the coins, they go up into the air, but when you swipe them sideways, they get repelled? And that is what's happening when you swipe them. They're getting repelled. So why does it look like the coin is actually being attracted when the magnet is on top, going up? The answer to that question is going to be in my next video, so stay tuned for that. But I want to hear what you guys think. So put your responses in the comments. I want to see what you guys can come up with. And one last thing too, I just started a Patreon page. I'll have the link in the description below. If you guys could give that a look and possibly donate if you could. Really, I can use all the help that I can get right now, and it would be awesome if you guys would be able to just chip in a little bit. This is going to go towards supplies, this is going to go towards gas, parking, new science demos for you guys. It'll really open up some time and just let me keep making videos like this, especially on a consistent schedule. Give that a look, and there are lots of rewards on there. You can take a look through those. Stuff for my books is on there too. You know, getting your name at the end of a book, or even named as a character, getting signed copies of the books, all sorts of rewards like that. That'd be great, and thank you once again. And if you haven't already checked out my Instagram, I post there every single day where I do slow-mo science and other sorts of science demonstrations and some science facts about various phenomena that happen in the world of physics and astronomy and other concepts like that. So give me a follow on there. It'll be linked in the description below. It's called the Scalix of Science, and you'll see all my new posts on there. I post every single day at 6 p.m. EST usually, but so far that's been pretty consistent on my schedule, and I'll see you guys on there also, and have a great one. And as always, here's to all your endeavors.